Bandits kill 8 people in fresh Zamfara attack. Similarly, 1 killed, 6 others kidnapped in Sokoto State. Senate proposes amendment to immunity for vice president, governors and their deputies. On business, federal government proposes budget cut as projected oil price caps for $20. On sports, Italian government suspends all sporting activities amidst coronavirus fear. And on the international scene, Canada records first coronavirus death. Hello viewers, welcome to Standard Voice Television News. I am Musa Joy Onyoza. No fewer than 8 people have been killed by groups of suspected armed bandits in Yerkasina village of Bagudu local government area of Zamfara state in a fresh attack about 20 kilometers away from Gusau, the state capital. An eyewitness identified as Alhaji Isa Dambuzu Megoro in a telephone interview with Blueprint said the dreaded gang of armed bandits numbering over 100 invaded the village at around 2:30 a.m. on Sunday, riding motorcycles and began shooting sporadically into the air. He stated that the bandits made away with many cows from the community during the operation. He said so far they buried 8 of their people killed by the bandits, according to Islamic rites, and those who sustained injury were taken to Gusau for medical treatment. When contacted, the Zamfara State Commissioner for Security and Home Affairs, Alhaji Abubakar Mohammed Dauran, in an interview with Blueprint, confirmed the incident and blamed the outlawed group of vigilante known as Ensakai for taking law into their hands by killing some innocent Fulani people and those who repented and surrendered their arms to the state government. He blamed the Ensakai because they were taking laws into their hands by attacking some Fulani communities despite all peace agreement between the Fulani and the state government. The Sokoto State Police Command said 1 person was killed and 6 others kidnapped by unknown gunmen in 3 communities in Shagari local government area of the state. The police spokesperson Mohammed Sadiq told journalists in Sokoto that the incident occurred at about 3:30 a.m. on Monday at Gidan Shikau, Gidan Samia and Kajiji communities. Mr. Sadiq said no arrest has been made, but a team of policemen was on the trail of the gunmen. The news agency of Nigeria reports that the communities are about 57 kilometers from Sokoto's town. A source who pleaded anonymity told NAN that the bandits fired gunshots indiscriminately, killing 1 person and abducting 6 others to unknown destination. A member of Sokoto State House of Assembly, Maidawa Alhaji Kajiji, APC Shagari, condoled with the family of the deceased and expressed sympathy for the kidnapped victims. The Senate has introduced a bill that will make the vice president, governors, and their deputies lose their immunity if they misappropriate public funds. The President of Nigeria, Vice President, governors, and their deputies are currently protected by the nation's law from criminal prosecution while in office. However, the proposed legislation from the Senate seeks to change this, but excludes the President from the proposed legislation. The bill is meant to alter the necessary sections of the Constitution to make it possible for law enforcement agencies to arrest and prosecute the Vice President, governors, or their deputies found guilty of fund misappropriation. The bill is titled An Act to Alter the Provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, to qualify criminal liability for certain public officers under Section 308. It is sponsored by the chairman of the Senate Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution, who is also the deputy president of the Senate, Ovi Omo Agege. The proposed amendments seek to alter Section 308 of the Principal Act by substituting subsection 2 with a new subsection. It added that any beneficiary of the immunity clause currently in the Constitution will lose it if indicted by the court after a thorough investigation by the police and the anti-graft agencies. President Muhammadu Buhari has set up a committee with a mandate to make a quick assessment of the impact of coronavirus on the economy. The president asked the committee to urgently evaluate the effect of the virus on the economy, especially as it affects the prices of crude oil. This comes after President Muhammadu Buhari met with the Ministers of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, and Petroleum Resources, Mr. Timipre Silva. The Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, Mr. Mele Kyari, was also present at the meeting. Members of the committee included the two ministers and the NNPC boss, as well as the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele. Crashing crude oil prices has forced an emergency meeting of key revenue agencies to review the impact on the Nigerian economy. The meeting, ongoing in the Federal Ministry of Finance headquarters in Abuja, was convened by the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed. A source close to the meeting told Premium Times that the agenda of the meeting is focused on the 2020 budget, whose fundamentals appear to have been derailed. Some of the officials attending the meeting include the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, the Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, Mele Kyari, the Chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Mr. Mohammed Nami, as well as the Minister of State for Budget, Mr. Clem Akbar. The Finance Minister had earlier said the government would take a decision to review the budget fundamentals based on the lower crude prices. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries had failed to reach a consensus with its non-OPEC members on further cuts on oil output to strengthen the price. The price of Brent crude reduced to about $34 a barrel, while Nigeria's 2020 budget was done based on a crude benchmark price of $56. 23 people were reported dead in a motor accident in Gwamfai community in Jahun local government area of Jigawa State. The Jigawa police spokesperson Audu Jinjiri in a statement said the accident occurred after a tire burst. According to the police, a Toyota bus with registration number YD183HJA was conveying the passenger from Jahun local government area to Shuari Market in Kiyawa local government before the incident happened. The police identified the driver as Ayuba, 36, of Afasha village, Jahun local government area. The police said the driver lost control and hit a house. As a result, the vehicle caught fire and all the passengers and the driver burned beyond recognition. Mr. Jinjiri added that 18 males and 5 females were given mass burial at the scene. The police said the statement that a doctor certified the body's state and the case is under investigation. Meanwhile, the state governor, Mohammed Badaru, reportedly witnessed the accident on his way to Gumel local government area. The new media aide to the governor, Awal Sankara, told Channels Television that the governor had instructed the Gumel local council chairman to identify the relatives of the deceased and assist them. Sokoto State Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal has commiserated with the people and government of Kaduna State over the bandit attack that claimed the lives of 51 people in 4 villages in Igabi local government area of the state last week. A statement by his special advisor on media and publicity, Mohammed Bello, said Tambuwal, who led the high-powered delegation of more than 15 highly placed Sokoto citizens on the visit, expressed sadness over the incident and other similar attacks in the state. It could be recalled that unknown bandits had a couple of days ago attacked the community, setting houses ablaze and killing scores of people. Governor Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna State, who expressed appreciation for the visit, said he was overwhelmed by the caliber of people, many of them his senior brothers. Special prayer led by the representative of the Sokoto Sultanate Council, Alhaji Kabir Usman Sarikin Yakin Binji, were offered for the repose of the souls of the deceased and for peace to reign in the state. At Lugard House, premises of the Kaduna State House of Assembly, Tambuwal consoled the people and government of the state. Receiving the delegate, the Speaker of the Kaduna State House of Assembly, Alhaji Zailani, expressed gratitude to the governor, saying the visit is a homecoming as Sokoto and Kaduna share a historical link, particularly the house edifies four of its kinds in the world, constructed under the leadership of the late Sir Ahmadu Bello Sardauna of Sokoto. The Sokoto State delegation include the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Alhaji Aminu Mohammed Achida, Alhaji Ahmed Mohammed Gusso, former Deputy Governor of Sokoto State, Senator Garoba Ilagada, Senator Ladan Shuni, and Alhaji Ibrahim Milkoma, the State Chairman of the People's Democratic Party. The Minister of State for Health, Senator Olorunbe Mamora, has said that the federal government may soon change its approach towards preventing, detecting, and treating coronavirus. Mr. Mamora, who spoke in Lagos at the Nigerian Institute for Medical Research, said the approach had become necessary following the second confirmed case, which showed no clinical symptoms at the time he was diagnosed. According to Mr. Mamora, the patient wasn't at the time of testing manifesting any symptoms, no cough, no fever, but it was just an issue of high index of suspicion that he eventually tested positive. That shows that we can have a healthy carrier who does not manifest symptoms. This development may compel the administration to change its strategy. Speaking further, Mr. Mamara said that for the second patient not to have shown any symptom during testing, it pointed to the fact that a different approach should be adopted. This is not the right time for handshaking, hugging, or kissing. Wisdom dictates that this is not the best time to travel to some high-burden areas, either for business or whatever, or if you may go, when you come back, do self-isolation for 14 days. And if you are having symptoms like cough, fever, and difficulty in breathing, go and see your doctor. Personal hygiene remains vital, and hand washing is critical to personal hygiene. The tendency is always there to consciously or unconsciously touch your face. Hand washing with soap and water, preferably running water, on rubbing the palms with alcohol-based sanitizer. Explaining further, Mr. Momora said when you talk of respiratory hygiene, sneezing, coughing, or yawning requires you to cover your mouth with a handkerchief or towel or wash your hands afterward. He advised that one should keep a safe distance from others when you do that. He urged Nigerians to avoid body contact as much as possible, even as he called for more proactive measures in the area of personal and respiratory hygiene. We'll be right back after this short commercial break. Stay tuned. Welcome back on Business. Jemima Samuel has more detail.
Thank you. Welcome to Business Desk. With cost of governance remaining high and slump in revenue subsisting due to volatility of oil price at the international market, the federal government announced plans to cut its 2020 budget. President Muhammadu Buhari in December signed a 10.59 trillion 2020 budget on the assumption of oil production of 2.80 million barrels per day with an oil price benchmark of $57 per barrel. However, oil price had plummeted by over 25%, forcing futures to its lowest in years, as Brent crude benchmark fell from $45 a barrel to $36.32 as at 6 p.m. yesterday, while WTI fell from $40.45 to $32.97. Meanwhile, the managing group director of the Nigerian Petroleum Corporation, Malam Mele Kyari, had stated that petroleum would become cheaper and more environment-friendly in Nigeria once the Ajaokuta-Kaduna-Kano AKK gas pipeline was completed. Malam Kyari stated this in Kaduna at the closing ceremony of the 41st edition of the Kaduna International Trade Fair. The managing director was represented at the occasion by the managing director of Kaduna Refinery and Petrochemical Company, Mr. Ezekiel Osarolube, said with the AKK project, the environment-friendly fuel would be used to power most of the moribund textile companies in Kaduna and Kano states, thereby reviving companies and creating job opportunities for the teeming youth. Upon completion, it is envisaged that the Ajaokuta-Kaduna-Kano project would get gas, a cheaper and more environment-friendly fuel to power most of the moribund textile company in Kaduna and Kano, thereby reviving them and creating job opportunities for the teeming youths. Malam Mele Kyari, however, used the occasion to introduce the corporation's latest product, the Nitro and Reno range of engine oil, saying, the Nitro range of engine oil is for petrol-fired engines, while the Reno range is for diesel-fired engines. They are specially blended to enhance the performance of engines and give them long life. He said the corporation was currently transforming from a traditional oil and gas entity into an integrated energy outfit with interest in power generation and transmission. The decision to diversify into the power sector is hinged on the need to bridge the huge energy gap in Nigerian markets. The corporation is also engaged in development of renewable energy to over time create low-carbon economy and link oil and gas sector to the agricultural sector. He also commended the Kaduna Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture for organizing the fair. Thanks for watching Business News. I am Jemima Samuel.
On sports, Sufyan Abubakar has more detail.
Hello, I am Svtv Abubakar and I welcome you to Standard Voice Television Sports Room, and as usual I bring the sports updates. The Italian Olympic Committee has suspended all footballing and sporting activities in the country amid fear of wider spread of coronavirus. Italy is the country with the second most confirmed cases of coronavirus after only China. So far, over 100,000 Italians have been quarantined and over 8,000 have been confirmed with the virus. And the death toll is still 355 as at Monday evening. It is with this regard that the Italian Sporting Committee have suspended all footballing and sporting activities in the country. So far, a lot of Italian football matches have been affected and will be affected until the beginning of April. The suspension doesn't include UEFA competition, as UEFA Champions League and Europa games will be played despite the fears. And now on the UEFA Champions League, later in the day, Leipzig will host Tottenham Hotspur in the second round tie of the round of 16 after defeating Tottenham Hotspur at the Tottenham Stadium 1-0 earlier last month, while Valencia will host Atlanta after losing 1-4 away at Atlanta. And tomorrow, Liverpool are expected to host Atletico Madrid after losing 1-0 at the Wanda Metropolitan Stadium in Spain, while Borussia Dortmund will go away to PSG after defeating PSG 2-1 earlier last month, also when Braut Haaland scored 2 goals in the game. And in the lone English Premier League game to be played on Wednesday, Arsenal FC will host Manchester City as they continue their resurgence towards achieving a top 4 finish at the end of the season. And that's all we have on sports today. Back to the newsroom.
And on the international scene, Canada has recorded its first death from the new coronavirus. Health officials in the westernmost province of British Columbia stated this yesterday. The province health officer Benny Henry told reporters that the victim, a senior residing at an elderly care facility, was infected with COVID-19 and passed away last night. Canada has recorded at least 71 confirmed or presumed coronavirus cases. Most of the cases were in the most populated province of Ontario or in British Columbia. That has been the news from Standard Voice Television. To end the news, a quick look at the major headlines. Bandits kill 8 people in fresh Zamfara attack. Similarly, 1 killed, 6 others kidnapped in Sokoto State. Senate proposes amendment to immunity for Vice President, governors and their deputies. On business, Federal government proposes budget cut as projected oil price heads for $20. On sports, Italian government suspends all sporting activities amidst coronavirus fear. And on the international scene, Canada records first coronavirus death. That's the news on behalf of the production crew and head of News and Current Affairs Department, Alhaji Ibrahim Garuba Tunau. I still remain Musa Joy Onyoza. Stay tuned.